Hello, hello. We're just waiting for everybody to come in and join us tonight. Very
Yep.
excited, very excited about our guest tonight. But first, we will welcome people before we get started. So let's see who is joining us. So later on tonight, we will be welcoming Brian Donahower, who is badass. So just hang in there. Once we get started, you're in for a treat. So meanwhile, let's welcome everybody. Hey, Allie, how are you doing? What's new and exciting with you? So I'm glad some people are coming in early to chat.
So this week, April, I'm on vacation from work.
Mhm.
So I'm at the beach house. As you can tell, I'm not in the closet. I'm not at the palatial estate
I wasn't.
anymore.
I didn't know if this was a different palatial estate behind you.
It is. It's a beach palatial estate,
That's nice.
and so I'm down here with the family. So my mom usually watches. So we may have a wider audience out in the living room watching on the TV with like my daughter and my son and everybody.
Awesome.
Everybody.
So hey Alexa, how are you? Oh, we wanted to say thank you to you also, Alexa, for
Oh yeah.
everything that you have done for us, all the time you have given to helping push the show, everything you have done to help the A Show grow. We are very, very, very grateful for everything you've given to us. And if you choose not to stay on, we appreciate it and we hope your blog kicks ass.
Yeah.
So thank you for
Keep
all you've
keep
done.
kicking ass.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, Scott. How are you doing? Hello, AB Twitch. How are you doing? Are you coming out? Maybe I'll see you at one of the Comic Cons coming up.
My girl noticed there was one in Charlotte, and she asked me if you were gonna be coming up for it. She's like, "Oh, there's one in Charlotte. Like, do you know if April's booked for it?" I'm like, "I don't know if she does too many in North Carolina."
I wish I did. I love the Carolinas. It's one of my
This
favorite
one's I think in
places.
Charlotte.
Yeah, it's one of my some of my family lives out there, Charlotte and Nashville. What
Okay.
little I've left, I would love to get out that way. Mm. How's my day going? Well, okay, that's a loaded question right there. So this weekend, I did a last minute getaway with my friend Eva. You guys know Eva on here. What is she was on? She was on Psychic Medium. She was the psychic medium we had on, but also uh, she's in the conversation a lot. I forget what her
Freed.
chat Freed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she did some genetic testing. It's actually good. We'll talk about this. She did some genetic testing recently. She's been on this path to get healthier. And she's been watching what she's eating. She's lost over 40 pounds. She started working out. She started actually doing resisting workouts too, or resistance workouts. And then she went and got some genetic testing done for cancer. And that was an epic failure. Um, all her lady parts came back as 70% chance of developing cancer in the near future. And then her sister took the same test and got the same result. So we are doing a GoFundMe for her. And if you go on Twitter or Facebook, if you want to donate or just share it, it would be amazing because her insurance sucks donkey balls. Yes, that one. And anybody who has ever experienced Eva knows that she gives to everyone. You will not ask for help. And her work cut back on all their bonuses and all their raises. They used COVID as the excuse to cut all that out, and it was standard. And everybody's making less, and they cut down to the bare minimum with insurance. So she's kind of stuck. And when she's out, she's going to be out for a while. But first, she's going to do the total hysterectomy, and then she has to have the double mastectomy and the reconstructive surgery. So she's going to be down for a while, and they're only going to give her 30% of her salary.
Sorry, April. I accidentally hit fat
It's
finger a
okay.
button. I'm sorry.
Anyway, she's it's a really scary time, and we have been super excited to see the donations coming in and all the people sharing it. So thank you for all that have been doing that. We really appreciate it a lot. So it's very heartwarming. You go through these rough times, and then everybody steps in to help, and it's like, oh my God, it's so it's so nice. So it's so nice. And hey, Winona, I hope you are feeling better. And oh, Brian, you hit the big 50. So welcome to Club 50. It's all up from here. Cam, you walked 5 miles. You're doing good. I will not say anything. So cool, awesome dude. Hello, Speedway. I'm excited about tonight's show too. It's going to be extremely interesting. Yeah, so it's really cool to see you guys in here, and we are going to get started very shortly. I just wanted a couple minutes to say hello first. Hi, Eva. We were actually just talking about you. You're the celebrity of the
Why
moment.
she popped in. She heard her ears were burning, and so
Yeah,
she's like, let me.
Must have been. I was explaining that we went away this weekend, and that we got that fundraiser started for you, and I was thanking everybody for sharing it and donating. So yeah, Aaron did a video for it and has been pushing it and on his social media. It's super cool that people have been helping with that. So yeah, we got home after having a little getaway at the beach, and I got a call to come rescue a couple of chickens. So that's what I did yesterday. I have a couple new chickens in the coop.
April, Alexa is celebrating my birthday early.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so tomorrow, Wednesday, is my birthday, and it's already Wednesday over in Germany.
Oh, we have to say happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Enjoy your birthday getaway with the zoo. Happy birthday, dear Colin. Happy birthday to you. How old are you? Is that rude? We don't ask how old anybody is these days, right? Unless they volunteer.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be 38. It's okay.
Okay. And sure, with 40 being the new 30 and 30 being the new 20, we were trying to get Friday to be the new Thursday.
Yeah. When you go to college, though, Thursday really is the new Friday, because that's when all the college kids go out to go drink. Is on Thursday.
Just skip on Fridays.
Yeah, pretty much.
I would be a big fan of skipping Mondays. Like, just have that 3-day vacation. Like, go ahead and do your Friday. Like, let the peasants take off on Friday, but you take off Monday, and you can actually get things done. That would probably
be a big brain move there, because a lot of times too, holidays happen on the Mondays, like on Mondays. So you would probably get a lot of those holidays off, where you would just be like, yeah, I don't have to go in on this bank holiday.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. So Big Kenny, hello. So all right, so we are having a quantum healing hypnosis, I want to say technique, but it's I'll explain it when we get started. But Brian Donahower is here, and we will get started very, very shortly. And I'm super excited because I've heard him speak before, and I think you guys are going to be impressed and have a little bit of your mind blown with what he has to say about certain things. So if you have questions about things that have to do with metaphysical or the universe or the idea of we are one or things like that, you guys have seen enough shows here about things that are metaphysical that I'm sure you might actually be able to come up with some pretty great questions. Feel free to hang on to those and put those in the chat, and we will get started. You want to get going?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sweet. Good evening and welcome to the A Show. I am your host, April Hunter. My co-host is Colin Wysong. And hello, we are welcoming Brian Donahower tonight. Hi. So,
sorry.
That's okay. Brian is a level 2 practitioner of quantum healing hypnosis technique, and he has a practice out of Palm Harbor, Florida. Brian has a MS in education. He is originally from Philadelphia. Sorry, yes. I got excited. Moved to Tampa in 2013. In 2020, he gave corporate America the finger and retired early. We like that. We like that kind of spirit here. He was recently interviewed by Star Jones of The View about the importance of following your passion and listed in the Who's Who in America in 2022. He is 14 years in the U.S. Army, 2 tours overseas, a holistic health advocate. You are a medic as well, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And he is a thought leader in the metaphysical community. So I'm excited to have you on here because I've heard you speak before. Welcome, welcome.
April, thank you. And it's a privilege to be in front of you and your audience. And kudos to Colin for setting me up. Thank you.
So for people who don't know
Mm-hmm.
what quantum healing hypnosis technique is, and I know it matters what level you're at also, can you explain that to us real quick? Or take us through the basics of quantum healing hypnosis technique?
Quantum healing hypnosis technique, and it's abbreviated and referenced as QHHT, is a very specific clinical hypnotic technique developed by a woman by the name of Dolores Cannon. Now, this was her life work. She passed in 2014, but was truly a remarkable person. Well published, over 18 books, speaker worldwide, and teaches her technique worldwide. This particular technique of hypnosis puts a person into what's called a somnambulistic state, that state of trance where the moment before you fall asleep, or the moment when you wake up in the morning, you're not quite awake, not quite asleep. That's the sweet spot right there. That's your brain is throwing theta waves. At this point, we can communicate to what she calls your subconscious. Others would call it your higher self or your intuitive self, your oversoul, others. And, well, your subconscious knows everything about you, past lives, past life regression, every single detail. And that's the opportunity to ask questions. We ask a client's subconscious, they bring a list of questions with them. Why am I hurting with this? Relationships. I had a weird dream 20 years ago. What does that mean? It can literally be anything. Now, it's not a carte blanche type setting. You will get information that is relevant to you, to your path, to your life path today. If you ask for, give me the secrets of Atlantis, well, if it's not relevant to your life path, you're not going to get it. Okay. So, if I said it in a sentence, QHHT helps you heal yourself. And that healing is emotional, and healing could be physical. And if you would allow me a brief 30-second description of a recent event, I think it would give a good example, a good background. I had a woman who came in, and among other issues, she complained of what she called a GERD, which acid reflux right here in the solar plexus. So her subconscious showed her a past life of a young man during the American Revolutionary War in Virginia, of all places. And he felt it was his responsibility to protect his parents' farm. And, well, as you might have guessed, the British came along, they burnt the farm down, they killed his parents, they killed him with a bayonet right in the solar plexus where he was. This was the past life. So once she was able to identify the mechanism of injury there, she could let go of the guilt that karma carried over from a past life, and walked out of there pain-free.
Oh, wow.
See, so how this works is your subconscious literally just shifts you ever so slightly, your frequency, once you resonate to where you don't suffer from that illness, or you don't suffer from that anxiety or depression. It's not one of these you are healed things. It's moving you to a different timeline, really.
Okay.
That's how it works.
So we've talked on here about we can carry genetics from our grandparents, great-grandparents, etc., down as far as having brown eyes or having big hands or having red hair, different things. If we can carry that, we can also feasibly carry their memories and their issues and their depression or their mental illnesses or their trauma,
right,
and PTSD with us as well.
Right. And we could call it unresolved karma.
Okay.
And it could be from past relationships. Often we'll find when we regress someone that they're with the same tribe of people. They've traded past lives. One's been the husband, and previously the other was a daughter. Previously the other was a sibling, and they exchange places like this to learn lessons. And ultimately, that's why we're here, to learn life experiences and since we're all energy, that's what expands the universe.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here's another question. I've seen and listened to you speak and talk a lot about finding your purpose,
Sure.
which is something a lot of us struggle with, or struggle with maybe one foot in the door, one foot out the door, not being sure if this is, do I do this? Do I give up my paying work? What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
What's your advice for people trying to find their sweet spot or their purpose, or
Sure. Okay.
Follow that path?
Okay. Purpose is akin with passion. What is your passion? And I like to say it this way: when your passion is greater than the sum of your fears, you have found your purpose. So what's that? You're passionate about what you do, and you're very good at it, April. Okay. If I may, how long have you known that you wanted to do this?
I'm trying to figure out what this is exactly, because there's so many different.
Right. Okay. Your professional career, wrestling, for example.
Okay. Wrestling I sort of fell into, but I call it communicating, writing, social media, journalism, podcasting. I think
And
I've
this
wanted
is what
to do
you're
that a long
passionate
time.
about. So you're emotionally involved.
Yeah.
That's the passion part. Okay. And that kind of ties in with, maybe we can talk about a little later, the law of attraction. You can attempt to manifest things, or your preferred reality in your life, what you want to manifest, the relationships you want, the jobs you want, the places where you live. It could be anything. That's only half of the secret. For example, that was published in 2006. The other half of that is you have to be emotionally involved. Your brain, your physical brain, and I'll break this down into three quickly. You have your physical mind, your heart mind, and your higher mind, your intuition, if you will. Your physical mind only has the capacity and ability to remember. It's your higher mind, your intuition, that has the ability. That's your creative part, your ideas, oh yes, that's how I can do that. So where people get wrapped around the axle with this is, well, they don't manifest what they want. They can't achieve their purpose or find their passion because, well, they're thinking with their physical mind and they don't know how they're going to get there. Let it go. That comes from your higher mind. And again, when your passion outweighs your fears, you have found your purpose.
Okay.
It's really interesting because it seems like I know I've personally manifested things in my life with people that I've met and the things that I've done. But it also sounds like that's something like I've had cousins in the past that have had issues, or people with pregnancy, right? Like they really want that baby, they're pushing for it, and they just can't seem to get pregnant. And then the minute they just stop worrying about it, they stop doing the infertility, like the drugs, they stop going to the doctor all the time. Then it's like, hey, guess what? I'm pregnant. And so it's like when you're pushing it, it's like you said, it's almost like the universe or whatever energy that's out there and that's within us has that ability to manifest those things in our lives.
Another example is, I'm done trying to have a relationship. I'm done. I'm not looking for a partner anymore. I'm just going to be single. And then what? You go to Starbucks the next day, and what happens?
Yep.
You meet that person.
It happens to me.
So, finding purpose is, well, you can define it, or it can be divinely inspired. Divinely inspired, I mean by what Colin had referenced, simply the universe. I would call source. If that energy is out there and that's your role, well, and you fall into it, like you explained, April, okay, there it is in front of you. But we have free will. We have the ability to choose, which is really just the greatest gift of all. And if I can define my purpose. If I say I want to be a musician and be a rock star, and I live it and I breathe it, and here's the saying I like to use: fake it till you make it. Well, eventually you will be that musician. So it can be both. It can be divinely inspired, for lack of better words. It can be self-defined, and it's important to remember that purposes or passions can change during the lifetime. If you're a parent and you have young children, okay, your children are your passion, your priority, your purpose at that point. But once they're raised and gone, and maybe you contemplate, what else can I contribute? okay, or how else can I give back? Okay, your passion may change. So you're not limited to one role for your entire life.
I like that. I'm writing down some of the things you said.
Mhm.
I also wanted to mention to people, if you'd like to study Dolores Cannon, but you don't want to sink your teeth in too deeply, and you've got a lot going on, you can find there is a Dolores Cannon Instagram account, and there's daily bites on there that are very, very interesting.
There's a fair
She's
number of
fascinating.
YouTube videos out there as well with
Hmm.
Dolores. You just
Hmm.
search on her name, and
Hmm.
there's plenty to learn from.
Yeah, I watched one of her just a few days ago where
Mhm.
she said that our bodies are not created to be sick. We are not supposed to be sick at all. She said, you make yourself sick
Right.
and you can make yourself well, but you have to figure out what it is that is making you sick. And you are the only one who can figure that out. And you have to basically, and for lack of a better term, basically unfuck yourself.
You
So
got it.
so,
Well,
so it's important to recognize that and the responsibility that we have to ourselves.
so, and that's what a QHHT session would bring out. Okay,
Okay.
what am I not seeing, or what do I not know, or what do I need to know, or even what do I need to unlearn, for example. And there's even scientific evidence for this, and I'll just quickly reference the placebo effect. If you can make yourself sick, you can make yourself well.
Mm.
And if we look at stress, for example, you stress yourself out with your job, working late hours, and the laptop is tethered to you, 12 hours a day in corporate America. Figure. I had enough of that. I really did. I was, quick story, I was late 50s. I was looking at her, retirement was on the horizon. And what am I going to do? I'm just getting so sick of the hypocrisy and the one over another, the jealousy, when I got involved with QHHT, it resonated with me so much that I quit my job at corporate America and started this practice full time.
Because your passion was greater than your fears.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly. And that grows. That's a phenomena. It has its own dynamics unto itself, and the more you stay in it, the more comes at you. One of the universal laws that we talk about all the time is you reap what you sow. What you put out is what you get back.
Yeah.
I always tell people that even though it seems unlikely, if they really love something, don't worry about the net, just leap, go, and it
Right.
will work out, even if you can't see it.
Right.
And that's the scariest thing for most people, I
It
think.
sure is. Yeah.
It's
Because they can't see how they're going to get there. Right.
right. And a lot of people make choices out of fear instead of love. So they are afraid to leave a steady, stable job. They're afraid to leave the money, even though they hate it.
Mhm.
They're afraid to leave. So they get trapped in this endless cycle of
Right.
shit, basically, and stress, and make themselves sick, and they're miserable. And that's the American way right there.
It is, and some people. I'm fortunate. I consider myself fortunate that I reached a threshold that I needed to make a decision. I was literally killing myself, working again 12 hours a day for Aetna, and buying that laptop, developing courseware for them. And over the course, I had put on maybe like 35 pounds. I was unhealthy. I was on blood pressure medicine. Okay, yes, there are benefits of working at home, but their mentality that I found where I worked in corporate America is find a good horse, ride him till they drop, and then find another horse. And I just had enough of that.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
Makes sense.
that's what it sounds like in corporate America for the most part.
Right.
I think a lot of people during COVID did what you said that a lot of people didn't do, and they took that leap. A lot of people quit their jobs. A lot of
Yeah.
people felt like, we're getting money. This might be the time for me to change, my outlook on things.
It reminds me of that one game show host. I forget the name. He has a YouTube video where he's very encouraging. He calls it "You Have to Jump." Does that ring a bell to you? No.
No, if it's not Alex Trebek, I don't know who it is. That's the only. I love him. Loved
And,
him. Still love him.
He will live
Did
forever.
Steve Harvey?
Yes, Steve Harvey.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I do. Yeah.
He has a
Yes.
YouTube video out there called "Jump." You gotta jump, and it's a 20-minute dialogue where April he echoes what you explained, and what you had also indicated, Colin, that people have that fear, okay, and they don't see how they're going to get there, and well, trusting the universe is a leap of faith. You have to jump.
Hmm.
Now, Brian, I don't mean to take you off of the topic here, but this show loves fur babies, and it looks like you've got one back there in the corner.
I have 3 pugs.
Do you?
Yes,
Pug
I am.
life.
You've met my pug Annie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
you've met Annie. She's the well-behaved one. That's Bill behind me, and he's harmless. He's a 14-year-old, and he just kind of waddles around and just keeps us company.
Very awesome.
That's why you see the 3 cushions behind me. Yeah.
I saw the dog moving in the background and had to ask.
But April's met Annie, and if you met Annie, you'd love her too. She's just a
Yeah.
sweetheart.
She's a people person.
Yep. Very social dog.
So what gets you involved into something like this? Like your military background, were there any, because the metaphysical type of stuff, like I live in North Carolina. Fort Bragg is not too far from here. The men who stare at goats, that type of things. Was this something that you may have learned about in the military?
No.
Yeah, is this something that, or did you learn about this in like 2006 and later on after you found out about Carol or Doris?
Interesting question. Military prepared me, life skills is what it gave me. The importance of learning how to take care of yourself and the importance of working together. And being overseas and in a firefight, you know what? You're just fighting for each other. That's all. Just taking care of each other's back. That's all it is. Simple as that. That was a learning experience, and I'm grateful for it. I was a punk in 17 in Philadelphia. Went to Central High, and I knew everything. Right? Remember, April?
I think everybody comes out of Philadelphia is a punk and knows everything and can drive terribly and thinks that they're wonderful.
With not too many options at that point, I went into the military. It was an adjustment for sure, but I'm glad I did. And I look back, it was a wonderful experience. It may not be for everybody, but it's you learn life skills, you learn how to take care of each other, and these still serve me to this day. So what brought me to QHHT and the metaphysical was just okay. I'll circle back to the when I was in my late 50s. I'm not far from them now, but retirement was on the horizon. What am I going to do? And it wasn't a legacy type question. It was more, just tell me the truth. That's what I just wanted the truth. It didn't matter if it was a religion like Christianity or Hindu or just a philosophy like Buddhism. I just wanted to know the truth. That's all.
I can feel this. I feel this.
And I did my search, and guess who kept popping up on YouTube? Dolores Cannon. Okay. So I investigated further, and it was like, bingo. I started spending money right away. Yeah, I signed up. I'm going. I'll be there. I'll fly down to Miami or whatever. And it's just taken off ever since. There's a lot of people out there that are hurting. There's a lot of people out there that have childhood traumas that need to overcome that, unfortunately, culturally and society-wise, that we're passing on to our children because we haven't resolved them ourselves. And these are the type of things that QHHT can help you with.
So, okay, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you to get themselves straightened out or to have more insight, how would they do that?
Okay. Best really is my website, ascensionqhht.com. So Ascension QHHT, all lowercase, all one word.
Ascension.
Right. Ascension QHHT, and that's where we're headed, right? Okay. So you'll find out about me, in-depth page about if, and there are other practitioners in the area too. Just find one that resonates with you. It's the best advice I could give you. You can schedule online. I do offer a free 30-minute consult beforehand. Just make sure you know what you're getting into here, because it can be life-changing. It really is. A session typically lasts 4 or 5 hours. And
really?
Yeah. Well, it's one time. It's not like you keep coming back every week like a chiropractor. And you bring your questions. We record the session. One of the questions we ask your subconscious is, how often are you supposed to listen to your recording? Okay, because that recording, that audio captures my energy, your energy, the energy of your subconscious. And each time you listen to it, you're going to, oh, I don't remember saying that. And oh, you start connecting the dots, or those little epiphanies will start happening. And this is where the real healing and the real resolving of issues comes into play.
Okay. Somebody's asking if that's video or audio when it's recorded.
If you want video, that's fine. That's your prerogative. You have to bring your own video device. The audio is included.
Okay. So you have talked about overcoming false beliefs
Sure.
that frame our behaviors.
Mhm.
How does one process and overcome this?
Sure. False belief. And these are largely instilled into us when we were children or in our formative years. And a quick example would be, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Well, that was terrible advice. That sucked. That was terrible advice. Because what were we taught? We were told to be quiet, not speak our voice, okay? Not be heard. Right?
Children are seen and not heard, right?
Exactly. Yes. Okay. Meant to be seen and not heard. Right. So and if you were affected by this, you were probably also left alone as a child to deal with your emotions by yourself too.
Mm-hmm.
So how do they manifest in today? Well, your behavior today. Do you get anxious? Does your fight or flight kick in? Or do you avoid confrontations, for example? Okay, it would be a good one. Why? Well, you have this belief that if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Okay? Some people may deal with that. Others, have dealt with that just fine. How do we overcome that? You recognize that it's a false belief, and then you have to ask yourself, what do I believe to be true for me to keep this as a false belief? I mean, what's the worst that could happen? If I spoke my voice, and if you and I, April, needed to air something out, okay, and I didn't say anything, well, it just festered in me. Did anything get resolved? No. Okay, and that ultimately hurts me. It doesn't serve me at all. But if we talk it through, even if there's some heated words or some things that need to be said that should have been said or maybe not be said, still, we both got to speak our voice and walk away. And okay, I'm able to deal with that. So what do I believe to be true? If I said something to you, April, that it bothered me, I failed to say it, shame on me. But I would probably, if I said something to you that you didn't like, you wouldn't like me anymore. You wouldn't be my friend. Okay, that's what I would inside believe to be true. Why I'm not saying something. Okay, okay. And that's the point to overcome.
Judging from social media these days, I think a lot of people have overcome that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's easy to do that when they're not face to face, right?
100%. Yeah, I call them keyboard warriors.
Cool.
So
I like that.
I stole one from you. I like, let your haters be your motivators.
Let your haters be your motivators.
I love that.
You know what? What really helped me, I retired from corporate America. I decided to do this. And part of that overcoming the fear is I just don't give a shit anymore. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I am what I am. I don't have anything to prove to anybody. And I'm just going to go out there and tell you I love you. And we are all one. And we can do this together.
That brings me to the next thing I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
What does it mean to you when people say we are all one or the collective? How do you define that so that people can understand it? Because we're hearing it a lot, but I'm not sure people are really understanding
I would call it a collective consciousness.
what it means.
I'm sorry, you froze up for a moment. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, sorry. I thought my internet was fixed.
And I would call it the collective consciousness.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you, I lost my train of thought there. Can you reframe that question a little bit, please?
Yes. I was saying, what does it mean to you when someone says we are all one or the collective?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people hearing it, but I don't think a lot of people understand what it actually means.
Oh, okay.
Did I
We're
phrase
going to
something?
get This is, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Right. I got it.
Ah.
Okay. It's time to bake the metaphysical noodle here. Okay.
Okay.
You, Colin, April, myself, and everybody, your audience, we are literally a projection of our consciousness from a higher dimension. This is all an illusion. A higher level consciousness, and you visit that place when you dream. We are all one. We all come from the same source. And through that source, we are connected to each other. There's a title out there called The Law of One, which was early 60s. Is that right, April? I'm not sure. I think it was.
I'm not sure when, but I know it's been around for a while.
In this 4 series. And Dolores Cannon really just simply repeated that in a more modern way of the Law of One. It means that we're all connected. And whether it's not a matter of male, female, tall or short, or any other type of physical attribute, at the spiritual level, we are all one. And that's what that means to me. And how do we describe it? The collective consciousness. Okay.
Say that last bit again.
Oh, and how do I describe it? As the collective consciousness globally.
Okay.
Okay. I have friends that I'm overseas that we're connected. I've never met them. We've talked a couple times on social media, but we think along the same lines, kindred spirits, if you will. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we all meditate at the same time, we're going to see a rise, okay, in the collective consciousness, and positive things happen. Okay. And this is what I mean by we are all one. Mm-hmm. Get rid of the biological features. Again, we are just a projection of our consciousness from a higher level, a higher dimension. Okay. And we're in this 3D construct. And as a result, we're subject to the laws of the 3D construct, but this is all by design. If you realize just how powerful you really, really are, you synchronized, orchestrated, synthesized every moment of your life. Whoever you met, even that person who passed you on the right driving home today, okay, was all part of the background. You created every single bit of that to learn your lessons that you chose to learn. Now, ask me why we chose to learn these lessons. Okay.
Why do we choose to learn these lessons, and how can we create a nicer backdrop?
Okay, your preferred reality, manifestation, law of attraction. Okay. I'll start with this statement. Love is literally the frequency of existence itself. Love is literally the frequency of existence itself.
Okay.
So if you are love, you be love. Well, how do you manifest love? You give love. You be what you want. Okay. Fake it until you make it. Okay. How we move forward from that? Tough question. Preferred reality is where I'm going to go. I want to circle back to the my undefined reality, what I want. These are my circle of friends, and this is where I choose to dedicate and focus my passion. And I'm going to avoid the biased news. I don't even have a television that works, because I'm just not interested. That's my preferred reality, is to avoid all that crap, and I don't need it. If I filled my head with that shit, I'd be fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
Okay. So just you guys can fight it out. I'm you could say I'm in my own little world, but there's a lot of people in this own little world, okay, who have just had enough of this shit. Mm-hmm. And this is, you can call it the Great Awakening. I've heard it referred to as that. People have just had enough. Okay. This goes back to what Colin, you mentioned about during COVID and people quitting their jobs and finding a new line of work or a new passion. Okay? Enough is enough.
We'll probably be seeing a lot more of that too here in the next coming years. People are just having enough is enough, mm-hmm. and really getting back to the spirituality and mm-hmm. kind of like I feel like a lot of the things that you're talking about are mm-hmm. things that you see people like you hear people go, all the fake lighting that we have. You need to go spend a week out in the woods to mm-hmm. attune your body back to its natural time. Like, we're supposed to be getting up at 5, 4 in the morning
Mhm.
and going when the sun starts to go down and all that type of stuff, that natural cycle. Do you think if we got back to some of those natural ways, a lot of this quantum healing stuff would show through?
Oh, sure.
We might get some of the power back. We're only using what 10% of our brains. We might
Right.
get that
And
15, twenty
I couldn't
percent.
agree with you more. And it's great that you brought that up. I do want to suggest it's not getting back to nature because you are nature.
Yeah.
You are nature yourself. Just as much as that tree is or those blades of grass, okay? You belong on this planet just as much as they do. You are nature. So if you can connect with that, if you like to take it for a walk, and that could be, we had mentioned meditation earlier. There's all kinds of meditations to clear your mind or reset your brain. Just go for a walk in the local park could do that too.
Mm-hmm.
And then just, I love being in nature. Okay, fine. Let's just reframe that a little bit. You are nature also. You're home. Okay.
Okay. So
How do you well, I got another question,
go for it.
April. How do you feel? So again, I've heard people talking about the soul, and us being one.
Right.
I've heard it expressed as kind of like our breath. Like we're all constantly breathing in and breathing out, and it maybe that's kind of like our soul is it's kind of out there, and where it's constantly moving in and out through us, right?
Okay.
Like you said, the collective nature, we're
Right.
all just kind of one. So maybe yes, we have our own individual souls, but maybe
So,
we are one giant soul, so to speak, right?
yes. One giant soul, collectively, one giant soul,
Yeah.
one part of many. Okay. Uh, there's nothing new under the sun. The same air that you and I are breathing, they were breathing 2,000 years ago. The same water that they drank 2,000 years ago, we're drinking today. Okay. Cheers.
Very cool.
Colin has a Coke too, I think.
I've got it. That's awesome.
All right. So you said something about the secret,
Yes.
or the law of attraction.
Mhm.
A lot of people talk about manifesting, but I think they don't necessarily know how. I know you said you have to feel it, but how exactly do people go about doing all of that? And how, I don't know. You said it's
So,
something like a law of vibration, right?
right. Okay.
Okay.
If we look at the 12 universal laws, and you can debate where they come from, but ultimately, universal laws come from the universe itself. The law of attraction is not really anything new. It was first seen in publication as early as the late 1800s.
Wait, what are the 12 universal laws?
I don't know them by heart.
Okay.
The first one is we are all one.
Oh, okay.
The second one is the law of vibration.
Okay.
You attract what you resonate with.
Okay.
Different people. Okay. So if my preferred reality is to have $1 million, just for example, well, money has its own frequency too. Everything does. Everything resonates, which is one of the laws of the 12 universal laws. Everything vibrates, right? If you align yourself that resonates with that money, well, you're going to get it. It's not that you have to go get it. You are attracting it to you. Now, I would suggest that the law of attraction is subordinate to the law of vibration. You have to resonate at that frequency to attract what you want. Remember, your physical mind only remembers, okay, it's your higher mind. And the language that your higher mind understands is emotions, feelings, okay? Your heart, mind, what I feel. I'm passionate about this. I've been fortunate to learn this information, and I'm compelled to share it because it's not mine to keep. Okay. Yeah, I'm passionate. So I feel that. And that's the secret behind the secret, if you will, is the emotions.
So I once heard that I guess the secret of life is to find what it is that you love to do and then give it away.
Yep. Give it away. And, what really sucks is you probably give it away a few times, 3 or 4 times in your life. Because you got to let go to build new. Sometimes that means letting go of toxic people that you may be fond of, but they're just brick weights holding you down, and you have to say I love you, but goodbye. Okay, I'm moving on to other things. I'm relocating because I'm being called to go here or something like that. Even if it's, I'm not bragging, but most of my family doesn't even talk to me.
That's pretty funny.
So that's the emotional part. How do you do that? Well, if it trips your trigger, if you're really passionate about it, if you can get up in the morning and say, I can't wait to do this, or I want to do this, or yeah, okay, you found your way.
Okay. So I just have so many questions. So I started reading this really interesting book.
Okay.
And I was going to ask you about this too. It's called Word Magic.
Got it.
And it's the powers and occult definitions of words.
Okay.
And it's deep reading.
Mm-hmm.
When you first start reading it, you think, oh my God, this is bizarre. But as they go in to break things down bit by bit, you think it starts making more and more sense, or possibly making more sense. And the point of this is I'm trying to think of the whole thing. They say that the words, once they're spoken, carry vibrations and energy.
Yes, they do.
And that we have to be aware of the power of the English language. That the English language was created and used for many things. It is a powerful language. And people can argue that or whatever. I'm just saying what's in the book. And that's and that some things were created as almost like spells, and that we say them without even understanding that we're saying them to keep us in a certain spot. So of course I'm reading it because I'm curious, but one of the things that they said was that words, once they're spoken, and that we didn't have that much of a spoken language at one point. We relied more on body language and even telepathy. And then now we use a lot more words, and these words carry vibration and energy, and we should know that. And instead of saying understand in the book, they say understand.
Understand. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. They say you need to understand these things. So I was curious if you had ever been aware of this type of
I love that term. I'm going to steal it from you if I may.
I liked it too, actually.
It's really cool. The words have energy, thoughts have energy. So we are a source of energy ourselves, and we literally put them out with intention into the universe. And the universe is everywhere. We are. Interesting that we can observe the universe. We're in the universe, yet we're a part of the universe, and they carry the power with it. And earlier I had said you don't realize simply how powerful you are.
Yes.
Manifesting the power, the law of attraction or the law of vibration. If you say it enough times to yourself in the mirror, eventually you're going to believe it, okay, and act it and live it. In the meantime, if this is your preferred reality, you fake it till you make it. If you have a self-esteem problem and you have to get up, tell yourself that I love you in the morning, every morning, okay, and you keep doing that, eventually you'll get where you need to be.
Okay.
So I would agree with that, the premise that words have energy. They're more powerful than I think we realize.
I've heard of something like that before, April, because you see people, instead of saying good morning, which morning is morning, like MOURNI, like, so people will say, like, I see Wolf say it. Wolf says like grand rising. Well, they'll say other things for like good morning instead of saying, because it's why your morning's not good, then morning is bad, right? So little things like that, I hear people say, like, they watch what they say because like those little words have power and energy. And
That's what the whole book is saying. It's saying, it breaks down a lot of the Bible too, and it says, the Gospels was actually Norse for God's spells, and that there are different spells in there that we don't understand, and that Son of God is actually SUN, the Son of God.
Why do they call alcohol spirits? Why do they call it spelling for grammar? Perhaps
Alpha and beta, alphabet. Aleph and Beth.
So words can be positive as well. There's not, I talk about past life regression in the work that I do, but not every past life is every moment was weeping and gnashing of teeth. There's good things that you bring forward too. Okay, you're good at communicating. Okay, same with Colin. Your audience as well. Okay, we can talk to each other, and regardless of what the problem is, if we're talking to each other, we can probably get through it. It doesn't matter how big the problem is.
One of our viewers, Andy, said, once I was aware of words, I noticed how often don't is said. And when people talk about what they, sorry, my brain is slow today. When they talk about what they do want, I don't want to be late, or I would like to arrive early. I noticed that as well. Like, I noticed how much I would say can't or don't.
Right.
Once I started becoming aware of words.
And you emphasize a negative or a false belief associated with that word. I can't. I won't. I never. I'm not good at that. I'm bad at math. Okay. Well, these are self-perpetuating. Right?
It's like, don't think about the cat next to you, and all you think about is a cat. That's all it picks up on is the cat, right?
Right. Okay. So and we're all guilty of this every day. Okay. And it's only when we catch ourselves that, I wonder if that would make a difference. Now, here's one of the difficult parts is we live in a 3D construct, and one of the we're subject to the laws of the third dimension, and that includes time. Okay. So whatever you're manifesting, whatever you're trying to change with how you speak to yourself, or how you think to yourself, or how you communicate with others, you're not going to see. It's not instant karma. It's going to take some time, and it's simply because of where we are. That's all.
Yeah, and even said that goes for calling yourself stupid too.
Yes, I'm so stupid, and I think of my parents. They, I love this one. I know both of you can relate. Probably 99% of your audience. You're growing up, formative years, and what do you think you're special or something? Well, at my age, yeah, I am, because I'm me. Okay, and if I'm only special to myself, yeah, okay. But we had that negative, that false belief instilled in us. Okay, so this leads to I'm not speaking my voice. My behavior is I'm an introvert, but I would really like to be more social and meet more people. I don't have a relationship because I never really learned how to love somebody because I had to deal with my emotions on my own. I don't know really how to love myself. On and on and on and on. And part of that is words, how we speak to ourselves and how we speak to others.
I feel like I'm in the business of helping people get over things like that, Brian, because I help train a lot of people. So it's always like, oh, I'm afraid to answer the phone, or I'm afraid to talk to that guest, and it's like, well, after the first time, yeah, you get through that fear, and then it gets easier and easier doing it. Like even my fiance, like when she's in school, she studies, she knows everything. Then when it comes up to that test, she's freaking out. She's coming to me nervous, and I'm like, hey. Like, you got this. Like, you've been studying, you know what you're doing. She's like, oh, I'm just gonna do so bad. And then she does the test, and she's like, oh man, I shouldn't have been so nervous. I shouldn't have been so hard on myself about those things. And I'm like, yeah, you probably overstudied.
Right. And these are the words or the thoughts that like April's book is that she mentioned is telling us that we've told ourselves. And now, fortunately, she has you to encourage her to overcome that barrier, and that'll happen.
She's done a great job with this.
Yeah, right. But you're a facilitator of communication, okay? Like you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Good job, by the way.
Yeah, not everybody's so lucky. You guys are lucky you have each other.
So I guess I would like to close that with just, whenever there's change, there's going to be a little bit of sting, for sure. Okay, and there's going to be a lapse of time. Just by simply, that's where we are, okay, in the third dimension. But it's worth it. Worth it. When you get to that level where you can say, I don't have anything to prove to anyone. I'm confident in who I am, and I could look anybody in the eye. I don't have to kneel before anybody. You can let go of religion. Let your haters be your motivators. And just be love. This above all things, to thine own self be true.
I've enjoyed this episode that we've done today, April. This has been a lot of fun. Like
Yeah.
because it's interesting because you do think about these things, right? Like we've talked about these things. When you're sitting by yourself, I self reflect about these things and often wonder in my head about these things, and to have Brian come on and kind of talk about these things, and there
Mhm.
is like you said, the quantum healing. There is that metaphysical aspect to these things, and I
Mhm.
think it is. There is you do need some of that, like, in physical healing. You do need, if you're going in there like cancer treatment, you're like, "Oh, I'm not gonna make it." More
Mhm.
than likely, you're probably
Mm.
not
You
gonna make
probably
it,
not
but
gonna
if
make it.
you're yeah, if
Mhm.
you're in there with the
Mhm.
positive thoughts, like, "We're gonna beat this, we're gonna do this," and you've got the people around you,
Mhm.
a lot of times you make it through it.
Yeah.
Again, it's the power of
Right.
positivity, it's that
Right.
placebo effect and
So yeah,
everything.
and this is the law of attraction or the power of positive thinking. Napoleon Hill from the 50s. I don't know who wrote the power of positive thinking. That was from the 50s. What else?
Where did
Louise
all these great speakers go?
Louise Hay, and then we mentioned The Secret as well. They pretty much passed. Okay. Now, who's out there today? Some voices are Abraham Hicks, Bashar, who's channeled by Daryl Anka out in Los Angeles. Who else? There's a couple of Bob Proctor's another that basically have followed in Dolores Cannon's legacy, say the same thing.
Okay.
That's
So,
awesome.
um, as we sum up the end, what is the one thing you would like the viewer to walk away with?
I said it earlier, and I shot myself in the foot. And I'm quoting Shakespeare: "This, above all things, to thy own self be true. If it serves you, the answer is yes. If it doesn't serve you, the answer is no." That's the differentiator, and as simple as that.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
So I like that. That is how you make your decisions right there. If
Mhm.
it serves you.
Okay, and I've had clients ask me about the COVID vaccination, for example. And I run a non-judgmental practice. If it serves you, get the vaccine. If it doesn't serve you, you're against it, don't get the vaccine, and it's nobody else's business. Okay, you know, when's the last time I had a prostate exam? It's none of your business. It's a medical issue, and it's private. And if it serves you, go for it. If it doesn't, no.
Good advice.
Mhm.
Good advice.
Really good advice.
So quantum healing hypnosis technique.
Mhm.
So if you guys want to give that a go and see if you might be able to unfuck yourselves.
Right. Can I add an asterisk there? Okay.
Yes.
If I may, April, thank you. Thank you
Yes.
for letting me interject. Um, the hardest part about it is the work you have to do afterwards because you have to look in the mirror.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, if you're willing to do the work and you want to know all the all the good stuff involved, definitely look up Brian.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at Kate hates you all.
Oh,
Cam,
Cam.
Cam hates you all.
Cam's one of our regulars. He's always got plenty to say.
Good.
You know you like it, Cam. Come on. You're like, ooh, prostate exam day, yeah.
He's staying with it. It's honestly more hard to look in the mirror after the prostate exam.
just get a hot female doctor and you'll be okay with it.
I'm sorry.
All right, so you guys can look up Brian at Ascension QHHT, as in, there you go. So
Roll it at the bottom, yeah.
quantum healing hypnosis technique .com. Mm-hmm. Yep. And thank you for being on here. I appreciate it very much.
It really is a privilege to be in front of you and your audience, and Colin, thank you as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks to everybody who showed up late. We saw you, Fred, and hello, Jamie. I saw that your liquor store was out of rum. Bummer. So thanks for joining us late, and everybody coming here. We appreciate it, and thanks to everybody who will rewatch this later. You guys have a great night. Thanks for all the subscriptions. You can see more of us on patreon.com, The A Show. We will be here on twitch.tv, The A Show, on Tuesday nights live. And you can check out Colin where?
Wednesday on the Ridiculously Random Podcast, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Which tomorrow we're talking about top 5 boxing knockouts. So if you have any favorite boxing knockouts, we'll be talking those and celebrating my birthday. I'm going to force Ray to celebrate my birthday. That's what we're
Sweet. Does Rocky count?
Rocky. Any. So
Rocky!
I asked somebody yesterday, and they said when Butterbean knocked out the guy in the Brawl for All in the WWE, that counts because that was boxing.
There you go.
And
It was.
Alexa 84, and those who are saying thank you, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you to all of you for being here. Thank you, Brian, for taking the time to come on and chat with us tonight and enlighten us.
This was
I
awesome.
appreciate
Thank you.
it. All right, we will talk to you guys soon. Have a good night. Oh wait, we're supposed to pack flex. I guess you have to do it too. Everybody pack flexes at the end. We have to Twitch on Twitch.
I have to get the
Are you
camera
up for
low
it?
enough.
Yep, there you
See
go.
me cheating.
Everybody pack flex.
Oh, wait a minute. I can do it because I started bench pressing.
There you go.
Oh, man.
I can kind of see it.
I can't.
It's better than me. It's better than me, Brian.
Colin, we just need to go over there.
Hail in comparison to this one over here.
Thank you.
All right, we're twitching on Twitch. You guys have a wonderful night, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Have a good night. Bye.
You
You too.
guys.